let me make it clear that the opposition is working well and doing well. The coalition is flourishing. Remember, all the opposition leaders came together and chose ADC. ADC is still remaining, despite the efforts of this incompetent and corrupt APC trying to legislate and litigate us out of existence. We resisted them, and through the power of the collectivity, we are flourishing. You're talking about the renegades that left ADC, the coalition, to go into NDC. Sorry, I have just discovered something that is very disheartening. It is not just that they are going to, that anybody who is voting for NDC or Peter Obi is voting for Tinubu. Anybody who is voting for NDC and Peter Obi is voting for criminality. And I will prove it with facts. I will call names. There is one man called Obunike Ohebu, the House of Representatives aspirant, Newi North and Newi South, and Ekusigo local government from Anambra State. He sent an SOS to me, and he said that Peter Obi is now the head of the criminality, that they were scammed in NDC. And he said, Okonkwo went back to his people and made sure that every constituency produced one candidate so that they will not be scammed. But Peter Obi told them that all of them, the aspirants, should go into the field, and that they thought they were going to have primaries. Remember, Sereka Dixon came out and said, once you pay your expression of interest form, you are not going to pay any money. When you are now the one that is nominated, that's when they will take nomination fee. And all of them ran into it. Then Peter Obi and the leaders of the Southeast now went and told them, anybody who wants to be House of Rep person, after paying that expression of interest, must pay 10 million naira bribe, and Senate 20 million naira bribe. When they were
bribe to who?
Bribe to the NDC and the caucus. They call them caucus leaders in the Southeast. This was what he wrote it and sent to me, and sent me the receipt, because they told him he needed money to campaign for his presidency. Now, when they downplayed, they were told individually. So they thought they were now the chosen candidate, that maybe that is the nomination fee. When all of them paid, they discovered there were many. Then we are now told to go into the field for direct primary. And when they now went into the field, they thought that there was going to be genuine primary. And as they were in that field, killing themselves, Peter Obi was in John Wood Hotel. He mentioned the hotel, writing the list of candidates. And after that, they submitted it. You know what he said? He said, I am not disappointed that I lost the ticket. I am rather disappointed that I invested my time, resources, and reputation in a process that is becoming increasingly opaque and inconsistent with the democratic principles it proclaimed. And this is another man from Enugu State, a highly political person, sent to me. And you know what he said? He said, I have a direct taste of the fraud called Peter Obi. Recently in NDC.
But we must put that, yes.
NDC has become a national dialogue for criminality.
No, but just a moment.
Discussion of criminals.
Mr. Okonkwo, you do acknowledge that that was the testimony of one person, and it's an allegation.
No.
You haven't investigated that.
Hold on.
To be able to say you did your own investigation, yes, and you found it to be true.
What, did you know what Aisha said? He said they did not even give me, I'm not talking about level playing ground. They did not give me ground at all. He said it on TV. I'm talking about corroboration. A lot of them have said it. And you know why I'm annoyed? You said I did the investigation. I am the leader of ADC in Enugu State. The same people we fought that they will not extort the aspirants. They are the people that went to NDC and they started extorting the aspirants. NDC has come out with a statement trying to distance themselves from what is happening in the Southeast. And they said it is the caucus leaders in the Southeast that are responsible.
Yeah.
Peter Obi from Anambra State, Okwesile Nwodo from Enugu State, Ugochukwu Onyema from Abia State, Achiku Denwa from Imo State, and what else is remaining?
Yeah, but don't you think that
yes,
is? I mean,
Sam
I'm not trying to
5 states in the Southeast.
Exonerate
you know what
anyone.
I'm telling you? We want to bring new leadership in the Southeast because of leaders like this. That is why Southeast has been coming last in Nigerian politics. Southeast people are marginalized in the federal government. We fight to eat. And after that, some of our leaders are calling us and scamming us. I told them that Peter Obi is going to scam them.
Yeah, but
that is a political con man. Look at what is happening.
I'm saying that again.
You will go to diaspora. I don't give shish, but you collect shish.
Mr. Okonkwo, I think it's important. I think it's important to still put that this is an allegation. That is one. It is an allegation that it must be taken. And then two, some people will also say that isn't this more in the nature of how we play politics? Because we've seen that party in, party out, in spite of all the promises that are made, what we see is that the way the political actors still behave does not make us differentiate from one party to the other. Because most times the same people that people this party are the same ones that have transited to another party, and they carry their behaviors and their traditions alongside them. So don't you think that this is more about Nigerian politics rather than piling it on one person and saying that he's responsible for all that is going on within the party?
Malpe, I am the leader of ADC in Enugu State. Go and verify whether there is any aspirant that one naira was taken from. It is not about there's no Nigerian factor in this. It is because we have incompetent and corrupt leaders. And do you know the annoying thing? When they start coming out publicly to deceive the public that they are saints, that they are when they are absolute hypocrites. In NDC, it is the Southeast people that are crying most. Go and check it. And it is a testimony to their leadership. I said I experienced it firsthand in Enugu State. When we resisted them, they were the same people that went into NDC, and they are perpetrating the criminality. You know, when I said it first, everybody was on my case. And I was saying, they will go and experience it.
Kenneth Okonkwo makes several distinct claims that must be separated and evaluated individually. Number one claim is that he said the NDC coalition is strong and the ADC remains the legitimate opposition vehicle. This is his opening framing, positioning ADC as the principled surviving coalition against what he portrays as the renegades. This is more political branding than factual assertion. The ADC has not demonstrated in terms of grassroots penetration or polling data that it is the dominant opposition platform. This claim is largely unverified and self-serving. Claim 2. NDC Southeast leaders charged aspirants 10 million and 20 million as bribes, despite NDC's own stated guidelines, saying aspirants only pay for expression of interest form. This is the core allegation. Okonkwo anchors it on Senator Suriake Dixon's own public statement of party policy, meaning there is a documented standard against which the alleged conduct can be measured. He claimed the aspirant Obuneke Ohoegbu sent him a written account and a receipt. These are specific falsifiable claims. Either the receipt is authentic or it isn't. Either Ohoegbu made this payment or he didn't. This is the most substantively serious part of Okonkwo's case and deserves investigation, not dismissal. Claim 3. Peter Obi personally directed this fraud and was in John Wood Hotel writing the list of candidates while aspirants competed in a sham primary. This is where Okonkwo overreaches badly. He moves from NDC Southeast caucus leaders extorted aspirants, a claim with some corroboration, to Peter Obi is at the head of the criminality, a claim that requires direct evidence linking Obi personally to the financial transactions. The hotel anecdote is vivid but unverified. Okonkwo offers no documentary evidence of Obi's personal involvement beyond what he was told in second-hand accounts. The leap from corruption happened in the primaries to Peter Obi orchestrated it is not established by the evidence he presents in this interview. Number 4 claim. Multiple people corroborate this, including Aisha and a highly placed Enugu politician. Okonkwo invokes corroboration but fails to name them with the same specificity he names Oegbu. Aisha said it on TV, and another man from Enugu are vague references. In a legal and journalistic sense, corroboration requires named, verifiable sources. These additions, while potentially valid, weaken rather than strengthen the argument when left unnamed. Number 5 claim. This is not about Nigerian politics in general. It is specifically about corrupt individuals. This is actually one of Okonkwo's stronger philosophical points, and it is where the interview gets intellectually interesting. Maupe Ogun performs an important journalistic function in this interview, and it should be acknowledged rather than dismissed. She makes 2 interventions worth analyzing. First intervention, you do acknowledge that that was the testimony of one person, and it's an allegation. You haven't investigated that to be able to say you did your own investigation and you found it to be true. This is entirely correct journalism. Okonkwo is presenting a second-hand account from an aggrieved aspirant as though it were established fact. The anchor is rigid to press that distinction. The fact that Okonkwo received an SOS message and a receipt does not make him an investigator. It makes him a conduit. He is under no obligation to investigate before speaking, but he is under an obligation to characterize what he has accurately. An allegation with documentary support, not a proven fact. Second intervention. Isn't this more in the nature of how we play politics? The same people transit from party to party and carry their behaviors with them. Isn't this about Nigerian politics rather than piling it on one person? This is the most intellectually substantive challenge in the interview. Maupe is asking Okonkwo to step back from personalization to structural analysis. A point that party switching actors reproduce the same pathologies in each new vehicle is empirically well supported. Nigeria's political history is littered with reforms who entered new platforms, promising transformation and delivered the same elite capture. Okonkwo's response to this is actually his most credible moment in the interview. It distinguishes between Nigerian factor, a normalizing cultural explanation, and individual accountability, arguing that invoking that's how Nigerian politics works is precisely the cover that allows impunity to continue. He says, it is not about there is no Nigerian factor in this. It is because we have incompetent and corrupt leaders. That is a principled and defensible position. The tension at the heart of this interview. The deepest tension here is between 2 legitimate intellectual frameworks. Framework A, structural/systemic. Nigerian primary elections are institutionally corrupt across all parties. The same political actors migrate between platforms, carrying the same practices. Singling out one individual or one party as uniquely criminal is analytically misleading and politically motivated. Framework B, individual accountability. Structural explanations, while accurate, must not become a blanket excuse that shields specific actors from responsibility for specific acts. The fact that corruption is widespread does not mean that particular instances of corruption by named individuals should go unchallenged. Accountability must be personal, not just systemic. Both frameworks are valid. The honest answer is that both are simultaneously true. Nigerian primary corruption is systemic and specific individuals make choices that perpetuate or enable it. Okonkwo is not wrong to name names, but is wrong to treat an allegation as a conviction before investigation. Now, the conflict of interest problem. No honest analysis of this interview can ignore what Maupe Ogun does not press hard enough. Kenneth Okonkwo is not a neutral party. He was a prominent Peter Obi supporter in 2023. He subsequently became an ADC chieftain. Peter Obi left the ADC-led coalition abruptly, which Okonkwo has described as a personal betrayal. He is now the most aggressive public critic of Obi's new political home. This does not automatically make his allegations false. Whistleblowers frequently have personal motivations, but it creates an obligation on Okonkwo's part to be even more rigorous with evidence, and an obligation on the audience to weigh his claims with that context in mind. The interview would have been sharper had Maope pressed him directly. Are you raising this because you received a genuine complaint or because you are prosecuting a political rivalry? What the NDC response tells us. The NDC issued a statement distancing itself from what is happening in the southeast, placing blame on caucus leaders rather than national leadership. Okonkwo correctly points out the absurdity. Peter Obi is himself from Anambra State, the epicenter of the alleged extortion. The national leadership cannot claim ignorance of what the Southeast Caucus did when the party's own presidential flag bearer is from that zone. This is a credible logical challenge that the NDC has not yet answered satisfactorily. Now, the 5 billion naira lawsuit, a political miscalculation. Peter Obi's legal team filing a demand letter within 24 hours and reportedly seeking 5 billion naira in damages has instantly made Obi the second headline in his own story. Instead of the public interrogating whether the NDC primaries were corrupt, the public is now watching a billion naira legal fight between two former allies. The lawsuit has done more to amplify Okonkwo's allegation than anything Okonkwo himself could have done. In political communication terms, this is a serious misstep. Now, in conclusion, the allegation is serious and deserves investigation by INEC, EFCC, and investigative journalists. Payments received from primary aspirants are the kind of documentary evidence that can be authenticated. Okonkwo is a credible messenger with a compromised motive. Those two things can both be true. Peter Obi and the NDC are handling this badly. Legal aggression without factual rebuttal suggests a communications team that is more comfortable in court than in the court of public opinion. And Maope Ogun asked the right questions, even if the follow-up pressure needed to go deeper. For Nigeria in 2027, the real question is whether voters will have a genuine, accountable opposition to choose, or whether the opposition will continue to collapse under the weight of its own internal contradictions before the election is even fought. Thank you for watching and listening. Go right into the comment section. Do you think Kenneth Okonkwo was right on the things he said about Peter Obi, on the allegations, and on his outburst? Put your thoughts in the comment section. Like the video, share it, and please subscribe. Thank you.